So, hi guys, welcome back to the next lecture. The previous video you have seen in which I am controlling the game using my hand gestures. So, I have created this using Python and using the libraries of Python only. I have added this clip before the lecture just because for better understanding to create excitement in you that you also can create these kind of projects. These are some basic projects you can create and try it by yourself. After learning the concept of Python and learning the libraries of Python, the lesson which we are going to cover today is OOPs, classes, and objects. So it is a very important topic. With the help of this topic, you can actually build real world projects like that I have shown you before. You can't made it by learning only OOPs and classes, but you also have to learn the libraries of the Python. So for example, in the previous project I have shown you, I'm using the libraries of Python which are Panda, NumPy, and OpenCV, and also MediaPipe. You have to learn libraries also, but that's not the hardest part. The basic part is this, which I am going to explain today, which is a concept of OOPs, classes, and objects. So OOP is what? So OOP is nothing. OOP is a object oriented programming language. So for example, first we read the definition. So object oriented programming, OOP, is a programming paradigm that uses objects and classes to organize code. It binds data, attributes, and functions methods together as a single unit. So the definition is saying that it binds data, which are attributes, and the function together and create a real world object. So yes, we use object to see a project in a real world. It helps to create real world objects. Like you can take example of a car. If I want to create a car, we have to provide a class car and then define some data into the class, and we can create another class of that, and we can connect the classes. Basic overview is you have to create class and objects in this project, in this concept, sorry. Why OOPS is important? So it helps manage complexity program easily. It promotes code reusability, makes code more reliable and organized, easy to maintain and update, and supports real world modeling, reduces repetition and increase productivity. So in procedural programming, we have learned before, we use data, functions, and variables, and whatever we use, so we use them separately. But in object oriented programming, we use them together in a object, in a classes. It is easier to manage large programs by with the help of OOPs. So it focuses on object, and it is easier to maintain large programs. The data and functions are bound together, so it is perfect for real world programming also. So that's why we need OOPs. First question is, what is a class? Now the class is only a blueprint. Like imagine if you have a house. If you want to create a house, what class do is, so class basically only a blueprint of the house, that what things are required to create a house. You have to store data into it, so it is just a blueprint. And what is object is, so object is a actual house which is built using the data. That object is actualized, and actual house, and object is, and class is just a blueprint of the house. So that is the difference between classes and objects. So now we can see the definition also. So definition of class is, a class is a blueprint or a template for creating objects. It defines the attributes, data, and methods, functions that the object will have. So now we have done with the classes, and see the definition of object. So an object is an instance of a class. It represents a real world entity and contains actual value. That's what I have told you. So how to create class and how to create objects, let's see it in a VS Code with example. So come to VS Code first. So now I am on a program file. So I have told you in a first lecture how to create the file. Ignore these files. So see the only program which I'm going to write here. So just have to write here print, and then the object, and the function which is defined into this inside this class. So I'm accessing the function which is info, and see what is printed. So it is the location of this object. So if I want to access that, So how do I mark each? The name of the topic is classes and objects, which is a part of loops. So now see how to create classes. So as I have told you that classes is a blueprint of something you want to create. So how to create classes? So you just have to write class here in a lowercase and the class is created. So after writing class you have to define the name. Like if I am creating class student, so I have to write say colon here. So this is the syntax of creating a class. So you can create class by this writing class in a lowercase and define the name of the class and then colon. So now if I want to store some value into the class, so let's see, I'm storing name is equal to yes. So the data is stored inside the class. So ignore this that why I am storing it. So come to the object part. So now how to access the data which is stored inside the class. Also I can create a null class, which is if I write pass here, so it will be a null class, but I want to store some data inside it, and then we are going to retrieve the data which is stored inside. So now you can see have created a class and stored data inside the class, which is name variable and the data which is Yash. So now if I want to create the object which is a actual object I want to create, so I am creating an object which is h1. So it is the name of the object I am providing here. It is similar to the variable, but also it is a variable, but it is a object, so which is a real world object entity of the class. So now see if I am creating an object and created s1 object here. So how to define? You have to write here the name of the class and then brackets. So that's how I have created the object here, which is refers to this class. So now if I want to retrieve the information which is stored inside the class, so I have to write here print and then s1, the name of the object, and then the data I want to retrieve I have to provide here. So now if you see, if I am going to print it, so see Yash is printed. So that's how you can retrieve the data which is written inside the class, and this is how you can create object, and this is how you can store data inside the class. So now come back to the PPT and see it in more detail. So there are more real life examples you can see here, which is student in class, so which I have created, that is student in class as well. So I have provided my name here and creating object after that, and then I retrieve the data which is stored in the class. So you can create the example of mobile phone also, bank account also, laptop also. So this example we are going to do when we are in detail, so don't worry about it. So now the complete example is, see, it is the complete example of class. So what is in it, what is self, we are going to cover it, but first we learn the definition and see the PPT, then we are going to do practical also on the VS Code. So you have to see, just go through from it for now, but by the end of the lecture you will learn about this all. So now advanced loops are code advantages of loops are code reusability, easy maintenance, modularity, scalability, better debugging, data security, real world modeling, improved productivity. So these are the information which is written inside that. So now come to the part init. So what is init and what is self? So see what is self. First we see the definition which is written inside. So self is a reference to the current instance object of the class. It allows us to access variables and methods of the class. So self.variable is an instance variable, self.method is an instance method. So what does it mean and why self is required? So see why self is required. So to distinguish between instance variable and local variable. So what are instance variable and what are local variable? We are going to see that also. So to access instance variable and method inside the class, to make a class work for multiple objects, to without self Python won't know which object data to use. So that's why self is required. So what is a self? So let me show it to you, but first before the self we are going to see what is a constructor and why do we need it. So a constructor is a special method that is automatically called when an object is created, and it is used to initialize the object's attributes. So the constructor is underscore underscore in it, and again underscore underscore. So and in Python the constructor method is always named double underscore init and double underscore, and then this parenthesis. So init method is built in method that acts as a constructor. It is called automatically every time the new object is created. So the example we have did previously. So come to the VS Code and then I'll explain. So see, we are in a VS Code and I'm going to write it. So I create this one. So now I'm creating a class of a student, and in a student class I'm going to write def. So def is I'm defining a function inside the class, and I'm writing here double underscore and then init, and then using a self constructor. So why do we need init and why do we need self? So to store data more efficiently in the class, so we use constructor here. So now how to store data inside the class? So I have to write here self dot name if I want to store the name of the student. So name of the student is just suppose, and then I want to store the marks of the student. So I have to write self dot marks and write 90 here, and then I want to store the branch of student. So I'm writing branch here and then write C. So these three information I have stored inside this class, and now if I am creating an object again, so see, I am creating an object and writing the name of the class, and then if I want to retrieve the information, I just simply write print here and then s1 and then the name. So see what will be printed here. So Yash is printed. So if I want to retrieve marks also, so I will write s1 dot marks. See, 90 is printed. And also I can give, I want to print the branch, so I can print it by using the name of the object dot and the method which is stored inside. So see, all three printed together, that is Yash, name, marks and branch. So that's how you can use self and init. And also if I want to give the information and then print it, so I can do that also. So how I'm going to do it? So see, I'm creating def and creating the student class again. Sorry, I have to write class here. Not a mistake. And see, I'm creating a constructor again. So first you write self here, and then I'm storing name here, and I'm storing marks here, and then branch here. So see the difference between them. See here I have written only self, and here I am writing self, then name, then marks, then branch in the def method. So it is a parameter, so you can assume it as a parameter. So it will take the input which user will provide, or also you can store it. But I'm going to give you example of how user will provide the input. So see, self dot name is equal to name which user will provide. Self dot marks is equal to marks. Self dot branch is equal to branch. So a class is created with the information name, marks and branch. So if I want to store some information inside the class, so how can I store it? By creating an object which is a student, but now in the parenthesis I have to write the information. So like for name I want to write Yash here and then comma, and then for marks I have to write 90, and then for branch I write CSC. And now the student class and object both are ready. If I want to retrieve the information inside the class, so I am going to write here name and the marks of a student. So s1 dot marks and then the branch of the student. So see, here also. So Yash 90 and CSC, well, everything is printed on the screen. So that's how you can store some data also. I also can create one more object with the help of this. So this is the first object I have created. So some more student have came. So if I want to store the data of another student, I can store it from here. See, Rahul has came, and then marks of Rahul is 89, and then the branch of Rahul is same as AC. Oh sorry, या फिर AC ही कर लो, क्या जा रहा है. तो फिर अब अगर हम यहाँ पे S2 कर देंगे प्रिंट, तो S2 प्रिंट हो जाएगा. So now object 2 will be printed. So that's how you can store data inside a class in objects, and this is the data which is predefined. So you can use with constructor if you want to do like if you want to hold it like more, and if you want to just use it, so you can also use without constructor. So now come back to the PPT and see more topics. So see here in a PPT, the first example which we have did is def init only by self. It is a default constructor, so use self here only, and then you can access the data which is written inside that. And with parameterized constructor, so you have to provide parameters here, which I have did name, agent, branch, and then you can assign values here, and then you can access the data. So that is the difference between default constructor and parameterized constructor. So flow diagram of constructor you can see here: class defined, and then object creation, then init code, and then initialization. Object is ready. So that's how you can do it. These are some practice questions. So we have did this: create class person with name. Also has I also created it with some extra information which is branch. So you can create this. Also you can try this. This is also the example with default constructor example also, and parameterized constructor example also. So now come to the variable and methods in Python. Oops. So variables are instance variable, class variable, instance method, class method, static method. So what is the difference in all between that? See, first instance variable is, so variable declared inside init using self belong to the instance object. Each object has its own copy. So what we have did is also instance variable, and class variable is defined by the class only. Instance variable is, so let me clear it out on VS Code, but just see the syntax here, and then I'm going to give you an example also. So see, there is a class person for instance variable. There is a constructor in it, and then it is a self, and we have given a parameter which is name, and then self name is age, name, and age is 0. So it is an instance variable. Okay, now see the syntax. So for class, so you can see class, there is no constructor inside this. So as we have did at the first, we have created a class, and then we have specified the data into the class, which is created the name. So this is a class variable. And now you can see instance method. So you can define, and without constructor also you can do this. And this is a class method, this is a static method. So come to the VS Code, and then I'll explain it to you. Now we are on a VS Code, and let me clear this all for you. So the question is, what is an instance? So the topic is instance, and I'm giving you an example. So first I'm writing a code. So class is so I'm creating a person class, and I'm defining a constructor into this, and then self, and then name. So it is a parameter, and I'm defining here self dot name is equal to the name. So now I'm creating another class. So it is a let me make it of any name. So it will be a human, I suppose, and I'm writing self here. So I can use the data which is written inside this object, and see, I can use print here, and I can write here self dot name, So now class is created, and if I have to create the object, I am creating an object, and in parenthesis, and then I have to provide a name here. So I am providing name, and if I use print, so I have to call here p1 dot human. So see, oh, I'm sorry, I am providing print here, so it is giving me the location. So I just have to call the function here. So I'm calling the function. So see, the message is printed here. So here I'm using print, and if I use print here again, then it will give me the location of that. So now I have to just call the function which is written. So see, this is the function. So see, this is a constructor in which I have defined the name, and the name is a data which is stored inside this object. So this is an instance which is referring to this object, and this is the object, this is the instance which is referring to this object, but it is also getting the information from the previous object. So that is the instance method. So with the help of instance method, you can retrieve the information of the first object to the second, or into the third you can use the first object information. So that's how you can learn instance, that's how you can use the instance method. So now another method is class method. So I'm going to show you the class method also. So now if I create a class here, so in class method I don't have to provide any instructor or something. So if I write a name of the class which is college, and then I'm storing the information of name is equal to any college, so maybe any college. So now after writing the name, if I have to retrieve the data, so I have to define a function here, that I am doing it by class method. Defining the class method, I am going to use here definition, and then I have to provide the name which is show college, and then I have to write class here. So I don't have to write here self as a parameter, I have to write here CLS, which is class, and then I am going to print the name with the help of class. I don't have to write self again and again. So see, if I am retrieving info like that. So now if I want to see the information, so I have just to call the function. So show dot college, and then you can see I have to write here the name of the class, and the class name is college dot show. So now that's how I can retrieve the data. See, the college is printed, which I have stored here. So that is a class method you can use. And now the difference between self and class is the instance method is refers to the object, is refers to the definition which is written here. See, so if I am using self here, if I am using the instance method here, so see, it is referring to this parameter, and if I am using data and using class method here, so this class is referring to the whole class here. So that is the difference between the instance method and this class method. So now come back to the PPT. So now we have done with the instance methods and class variables, and there is a comparison table you can see here. So which is instance variable where it is defined inside init using self, as we define name and marks, and in class variable inside class outside any method. So in class we use variables just after writing the class, and then we define some methods and the logics and the functions we want to retrieve or use, and then instance method inside the class. So you can see this chart and do it by yourself. Let's move to the next topic, which are more important than that. which is inheritance and polymorphism. So what is an inheritance and what is polymorphism here? So see, the introduction is inheritance allows a new class to inherit properties and methods from an existing class. Polymorphism allows object to take many forms. Inheritance is for code reusability and polymorphism is for flexibility. So the first question is, what is an inheritance and what are the types of inheritance? So we have to come to the VS Code, but just see one more time PPT. So what is inheritance? So just you have get the basic overview of that, and then I'll explain it in the VS Code. So inheritance is a mechanism where one class acquires the properties, attributes, and behaviors methods of another class. So it is an inheritance, and parent class inherits the properties of child class. Sorry, child class inherits the properties of parents class. So it is a reusability of the code. Now come to the VS Code, and then I'll explain it. So now we are on VS Code, and we are going to cover this in detail. So the topic is inheritance. So now how inheritance is used. See, class I have created here, and I am creating a animal class, then colon, and then if I want to store some data inside the class animal, let's suppose I did this and then define the name, which is see, animal can be anything. So I'm using dog here. I'm using eat here. So it is a more easy for me. And now for self, I just print something. Okay, so I'm printing animal is eating. So that's how I'm creating a class animal, and then I create another class, and which is dog class, and dog class is a child class of this previous class. So how do I define the child class with the parent? So it is the important base class, which is a parent class, and if I want to create the child class, I have to write the name of the parent class inside the child class parenthesis. So I'm writing a animal and then colons, and then if I create another instance here, so see, I'm creating a def here and then bark. So the name of the function is bark, and if I print here dog is barking. So see here, if I create a object for this class only, not for this, I'm creating a object a1 for dog. So I'm writing dog here, and then it is done. So if I want to retrieve the information from a dog class, so I can retrieve it by using the a1 and then dot and then bark. See, the message is so I don't have to use print here again. I just have to call the function. So see, bark. So now if I call the function, see, the dog is barking is printed. But one more thing I can do here is I can also call this message. So how I'm going to call it? By calling this. See, animal is eating. So I can print it through this class because it is a child class of that parent. But if I remove this and create a self-independent class, so I cannot access this from the a1 object. So I have to create another object for accessing this information. But if I create this child class inside it, then I can simply retrieve the data also from this class and from this class also. So this is the benefit of inheritance. Now come to the next, which is types of inheritance. So types of inheritance are 5 types of inheritance. So first we are going to cover, which is single inheritance. So single inheritance is same as this. So this is the example of single inheritance which I have shown to you. So it is the easiest one, and for reference I am giving you the basics of that. So basic syntax of that. So I suppose it is a class A, and so I am creating class B here and referring to A. So that's how we can create classes, single level classes. So that's how we can create a single level classes. So now I am commenting it out, and this also. So now come to the next part of the inheritance, next type of the inheritance, multi-level inheritance we are going to cover now. So multi-level inheritance is like I'm giving you a heading. So I'm giving you a basic syntax of all the types of inheritance so you can understand better. So multiple inheritances. If I'm creating a class A here, and then I'll pass it, and then I'm creating one more class, and then I'm referring this class, child class, to this parent class. So now you can see this class is created, and I'm going to write pass again, and then I created one more class, C class, which is referring to B class, and then I use pass here. So you see here, so this class C can retrieve the information of class B also and class A also. How? Because in class A, if I am storing some data, so B is a child class of that class, so A is a parent class for B class. So B class can retrieve the data of B class also and the data of A class also. And in class C, you can see, so C class can retrieve the data of itself also and the data of B also. And because B is a child class of the parent class A, so C can retrieve the data of A class also, because it is a child class of B class and B class is a child class of A class. So A is a super class here and these both are child class. So this is a multiple level of inheritance. Now come to the third type of inheritance, which is multiple inheritance. So I'm giving an example of that also. So which is a multi-level inheritance. So it is a basic foundation of inheritances. So I'm creating a class named father, and then I'll use pass, and then I'm creating one more class which is mother, and then pass, and I'm creating a class, third class, which is a child class, and inside child class I can refer this class with the father and mother also at the same time. So you can see father and mother, and then pass. So child class can also retrieve information of mother and information of father. So there is a difference between multi-level and multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance, you can see C class can uh, retrieve the information or data from the B class and A class. And also in multi-level inheritance, child class can inherit the data from mother class and father class. But there is a difference that here mother class can't get information about the father class, but here you can see B can retrieve the information of A class. So that is the difference between multiple and multi-level inheritance. So now come to the next, which is a fourth type of inheritance, so which is a hierarchical inheritance. So so now I'm creating a class again, and see I'm creating a class which is A, and then using pass, and then creating a one more class which is class B, and referring to class A, and using pass again, and using one more class which is class C, and it is also referring to the class A. So this is a hierarchical inheritance. In hierarchical inheritance, one parent can have multiple children. So this is a example of hierarchical inheritance, and you can create it like that. So we have left with just one inheritance, so which is I'm going to tell you. So it is a hybrid inheritance. So in hybrid inheritance, you can see I'm creating a class, and in class I'm creating a class, and then I'm using pass here, and then I'm creating one more class which is B class and refers to A class, and then using pass here, and in I'm creating a third class, and it is also referring to the A class, and I'm using pass again, and I'm creating a fourth class which is a D class, and which refers to B and C only. I'm using pass here. So you can see B class can retrieve information of A, and C class also retrieve information from A. but D class can retrieve information for B also, C also, and from D also. So sorry, A also. So that is the difference between hybrid inheritance and normal inheritance and hierarchical inheritance. So you can see the example in PPT, and I have shown you the basic syntax or the basic overview of inheritance also. Now come to the one more thing, which is a super method. And why do we use super method? What is the need of super method? So first of all, what is a super method and how do we use it? So I am creating a class for that, which is person. So super method is used only when you are using a number of classes. If you are using parent and child classes, so inside child class you can use super clause, which helps to retrieve information from the parent class. So how? I am going to show it to you. So if I use a constructor here, I can see self, and then I can define name and marks here, and then I want to retrieve information from the user. So I am defining self.name and self.marks is equal to marks. And if I am creating another class, which will be the child class of person. So if I am creating a student, and it is a child class of first class, and now I am creating def and an instructor inside this, and now I am using the same method self, and I want to retrieve name also here, marks also here, and roll number also here, and branch also here. So I have to define here self dot name is equal to name, self dot marks is equal to marks. Just see right now what I am doing, and role is equal to roll number, and self dot branch is equal to branch. So now I'm going to create an object for that. So let's see, I'm getting an object of a student and writing information inside that. Yes, here, and then the name and the marks, let's suppose 898, and roll number 101, and then branch, which is CSC if I write, and retrieve the information from that S1. So I want to retrieve information S1 dot name. So see, the name is printed without any condition, without any problem. It is printed without any effort. Name and marks is stored inside this, but you see here the marks and name. So name and marks, which is stored inside this. So name and marks are stored only inside this child class, not in the parent class. So it is overridden. So best thing to do it like it if I want to store the name and marks into the parent class also. So I have to use super here, so it will retrieve the data from the super class. So how I use it? So I have to write super here, and then init, and then I have to write for what parameters I have to use, name and then marks. So now it is okay. So you can see, oh I'm sorry guys, I have just forgot to write super then parentheses here. So now it will be okay. So you see name is accessed. Also I can retrieve the marks also, and I can use like that. So see, it is created and it is done now. So that's how you can use super. Now come to the PPT part. Come back to the PPT, and we are done with the inheritance part. We have done with what is inheritance, and we have done with parent class and child class, so derived class and base class, and we have done with the super function. Just to see the definition which is written inside the PPT. So super is used to access methods of the parent class. It helps in calling parent class and constructor and methods. So that's how you can use it. I have told you before in the example. We have done with the types of inheritance also: single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, multiple type of inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. So now what polymorphism is, let's see the definition. So polymorphism means many forms. So here poly means many and morphism means forms. So polymorphism total means is many forms. So it allows objects of different classes to be treated as the object of common superclass. So it is the part of superfunction, as I have told you. And now see method overriding. So I have given you example of that also in the previous example which we have covered. So I have told you that this is part of method overriding, and then we handled it with the super function. So that's why we need super function. So now come to the duck typing. So in Python, the type or class of an object doesn't matter if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it is a duck. So it is just an example, you can see it. So now come to the real world applications, which is vehicle systems, car, bikes and trucks. We can create with the help of inheritance and parents and childs and superclass. We can create banking system, account, saving and loan. We can create employee management system, game development, which in which player, enemy and npcs we can create. And gui applications, which is button, textbook, menu. We can create a file handling system, read, write and append. We have did it in file management lecture also. So now come to the encapsulation and abstraction. So encapsulation is what? So encapsulation is the concept of hiding data, attributes and exposing only necessary parts. So it is the part of encapsulation, definition of encapsulation. And it protects data from direct access and accidental modification, data hiding, security, control access and better maintenance. So let me show you getter and setter. Let me show you encapsulation part in the VS Code. So now we are on a VS Code, and now we are going to see how to hide the data and what is data hiding. So I am creating a class again, and if I am creating a bank, and now inside the bank I am going to initialize something, self dot amount. And by using self dot amount, so I am creating a class here which is calling bank, and if I want to print the, sorry, I have to give the amount first. So I have given here amount, and if I want to print amount here, so I am using a1 dot amount, and I can print it. See, 1000 is 10,000 is printed here, but I want this information to be confidential. So how can I do this? By just adding double underscore here. You can see I have did this, and now you can see this is an attribute error. So I can't access the information from the class if I am using double underscore here after using the name. But and now this information is confidential, but it does not mean that it is very much confidential now and data cannot be changed or retrieved. It can be. How it can be, I'm going to show you. If I want to retrieve the amount, I can. So if I want to retrieve it, see, it is retrieved. So Python is doing what? When I did this double underscore thing here, so when I set amount to be double underscore amount, so Python inside did what is Python renamed the amount to a bank account, but inside the code it is not written anywhere, so no one can see this. So this is the logic which Python use for data hiding. So this is all about data hiding. Now come to the next topic, the getter. So what getters can do? So if I hide the data here and I want to retrieve the data, so what I have to do now? So I can retrieve the data by using the insider functions. So see, I am retrieving data. So I have to create one more function here, which is I am writing get balance and using self here, And then what I have to do is I have to return inside the function is self dot uh, amount part. And see, now if I create an object, let's suppose I create name account object here, and I store some value inside the class of amount, which is, see, increase the value wise. And now if I want to retrieve the data, I can simply write here print dot account and dot get balance. I can use, and see, the data will be printed without any error. There is a problem there, let me see it first. It is giving me the, oh, and I forgot to write parentheses there. Now it will give me the exact value. See, so there is printed back to it. So now see, that's how also you can retrieve the data. So this is the get method. You return inside the function, that's the value you want to return. And what is a set method? If you want to modify data inside that, so I can create a def again, and using the name set balance using self. And if I want to update the balance by which user will provide, so if I'm not using here, so see, this is the default balance here. So see, and now if I'm using self here, and I want to retrieve it like amount will be added by amount. So I have to use if condition also. If balance is greater than 0, now you can see here. So one more thing I have to do here is I have to write self dot amount. Now it is written here. So here the default bank details is the amount is 1000 stored, and if I want to update it by 500, so yes, I can do that. So now I am just calling here. I don't have to provide any information. I am going to add some value, some more amount into the bank account. So how I'm going to do is I'm going to call with the help of object account dot then set balance I'm using, and then I'm going to add amount, which is 500, let's see. And then if I call the get balance, see what will return. See, 1500 will return. And if I am not adding anything, so the default value 1000 will be returned. So that's how you can use set or get. You have to give condition for modification or whatever you want to do in the previous data which is stored in the constructor, and then you can use get, in which you can return the statement with the help of return statement. So that is the topic of getter and setters. And also we have done with the polymorph and inheritance. And now come back to the PPT, and you can see there are some examples are written. So now come to the dunder functions. So there are some dunder functions. So first of all, you just have to practice all that things which I have provided you. So do these examples only. So this is not important for you right now, but just I'm just giving you an overview of these all. So see what our dunder functions are. So magic methods are special methods in Python classes that starts and end with double underscores. They are automatically called in specified situations. So that's how we can use them. So this is the example of that. You can see here def underscore underscore then init self title pages, and it is a constructor part, and then I'm using here a tender function. There is also a tender function, there is also a tender function, and also a tender function. So you just you don't have to do this much right now. You have to do this part only, and the previous part which I provided you, it is variable and methods, encapsulation and abstraction, and polymorphism only. So these four are much important for you than that. So just see this. I'm giving you 5 minutes, then you can recall this.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना।